Okay, so let's take a look at The Legend of Zelda for the NES. Now, the first thing of note is this cutout window in the front exposing the gold cartridge inside, but we'll take a look at that in a minute. So, The Legend of Zelda includes invaluable maps and strategic playing tips. So, a quick tour of the box. As you can see, this one's in pretty excellent condition, especially when you consider its age. Originally a 1986 game, although this is a 1987 version. And onto the back. Experience the challenge of endless adventure. Welcome to The Legend of Zelda. So a couple of screenshots there. Of course, this was the brainchild of Shigeru Miyamoto, who came up with the idea based on memories of playing in the woods as a child with his friends, having adventures and things, and he wanted to carry that across to the 8-bit system. And so Zelda was born, and the rest is history, of course. So looking down here, it talks about the map that's included, but this is interesting. Extended playing power. Zelda is programmed to remember everything you find on your journey, so you never have to start your search empty-handed. And of course, what that refers to is the battery backup system, and Zelda was one of the earliest examples of this. So let's take a look inside. Now, first thing to see is the gold cartridge. Very cool. And I remember first seeing a gold cartridge when I was little around my cousin's house. He had a big stack of NES games, and among them was a gold cartridge, and I was drawn to it immediately. That was in fact Zelda 2, but the first game has that as well, and it's just so cool, and it makes Zelda feel special, which of course it is. So there's the card, and let's have a look at the manual next. So here we go, and as you can see, this one again is in really good condition, and the Legend of Zelda manual is absolutely lovely. It's all colour, and parts of it read like a comic book, and the artwork is just fantastic. Really, really nice to look through. And of course, Zelda was so far ahead of its time that a lot of explanation as to the game's mechanics and how to play it were important, so this is quite a hefty manual. Very cool. Alright, and also included, of course, is The Legend of Zelda maps and strategies. Very important and very useful when you're playing through the game. It gives you a map of the 8-bit Hyrule and an idea as to where the dungeons are. So you would have seen this many times, I'm sure. It also gives you a few tips along the top here, and some of the items that you'll pick up along your way in your quest. Over here gives you a little guide to the enemies. It's just really, really cool. So, there we go. That is the Legend of Zelda for the NES unboxed. Let's go and have a go on it. Okay, so this is The Legend of Zelda, and straight away you'll see there is a save file, and I'm going to take the empty one at the top, and we will go and get the sword from the cave at the start. So it's a very famous Zelda scene. It's dangerous to go alone, take this. And we are going to head immediately to the first dungeon. If you were playing through the whole game, you might want to sort of go around and collect some items, some bombs, and maybe upgrade your life bar a little bit. But for the sake of today's play, we're going to go straight to the dungeon. So that's up a couple of screens and west across the water, and you'll find the dungeon. Now, ideally, if you can avoid taking a hit on the way, that's a good thing, because all the while that Link has got a full life bar, his sword will fire a projectile, which is pretty handy. Fortunately, the first dungeon is pretty straightforward anyway. So you'll have to bear with me, because I haven't actually played Zelda in quite a long time. I tend to play through it about once a year, but I must be due a playthrough. So yeah, if I don't know the exact route through, you'll have to forgive me for it. So grab a key after killing those 3 enemies in the first left room. This is a very simple dungeon, and the dungeons as a whole do get a lot more difficult as you go through the game. And to this day, I mean, Zelda games are very much judged on the quality of their dungeons. There's some really famously difficult dungeons, such as the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time, and some of the dungeons in A Link to the Past, the SNES Zelda, are just so fantastically well designed. They're very, very clever, and they take a bit of figuring out, but they're always doable. So, I believe if we kill all 3 skeletons here, they should give us a key. No, a rupee. Okay, let's press on. So one thing that's not changed about the Zelda games dungeons is that they all contain a compass and a map, and we are going to need both those things today, because as I say, I don't exactly remember the route through. Killing all those skeletons does give us a key. Now I believe through this door is the compass, and that will show us the boss location. I think we'll run out of here, we won't bother killing all the bats. So that gives us the compass, and the flashing red dot in the top left shows us where the boss is. However, that doesn't make a great deal of sense until we've got the map. We shall get that shortly. Now in this room, there's a door on the left that is closed but not locked, so you can't get through it with a key, it's still sealed. What you have to do is kill the 3 enemies and then push this block to the side to reveal the secret. Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. Now I've always taken that to mean that that is where the boss is, because if you look on the map, the red dot is in the east. However, I've since learned other people have got a different theory, that it relates to something within Hyrule itself. I don't know, make of it what you will. But the boss is definitely in the east. Now, there's a map over here which we will grab, and that will give us a better idea of where to go next. Okay, so top left, the map is revealed. Now, there is an item within this dungeon as well as the boss. I'm going to go and get that item now. It is a bow and arrow, and we'll need it for the game. So if you can see, this guy over here is carrying a key. We'll have that off him, thank you very much. Through the door to the north. And these guys are quite tough. You have to watch out for their projectiles. If one throws a projectile at you, what you need to do is make sure you're not swinging your sword, and Link will automatically block it. There we are, there's another key, and go through the door to the left. Avoiding the spikes as best we can. Now to get to that staircase, simply push the block out of the way. And yeah, you'll be put into one of the sort of side-scrolling sections of the game, which is quite rare. Okay, so with the bow and arrow in hand, we are now going to head to the boss. And we know he's off in the east over there. Okay, so we are now on our way to the first boss, which is in the room up here. Avoiding the wall masters as we go, because they grab you and send you back from where you came from. So yeah, because we've got the projectile sword, he's pretty straightforward. I've also managed to pick up some bombs along the way, which we can use. Why not? Let's go and drop one of those on him. And there we go, that's done the trick, excellent. So he left us a heart piece, and if we go through here, we should find ourselves a piece of the Triforce. So there we go guys, that's the first Dungeon of Zelda. Excellent game, a real classic. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Take care. Bye bye.